Onto this stressing story now. Amathole Municipality in the Eastern Cape does not have money to pay salaries for the next 4 months. The municipality says this will affect workers, councillors and traditional leaders. That will be in the months of February, April, May and June. Well, the salary bill for the municipality for the over 1,600 workers and about 56 councillors was not budgeted for. Joining us now is Dr. Thandekile Mnyimba. He is the Amathole Municipal Manager, talking to us from East London this morning. Dr. Mnyimba, thank you very much for your time. List for us the reasons as to why you are unable to pay salaries for the next 4 months starting in February.
Good morning, Cody and the viewers. Cody, the root causes of the challenges that we find ourselves in started with the administrative decisions that are unlawful in 2014 and 2015 financial years. In 2014, the administration decided to pay the salaries of the administration on a category 7, whilst the municipality is a category 6 municipality. That is called a recategorization of the municipality from a 6 to a 7. Therefore, you have employees within the institution that is paid on a category 7 salaries instead of a category 6. That pushed the cost of employment to very high levels in the institution. As that was not enough, Tony. In 2015, the administration decided to implement what is called standardization, and that also pushed up the salary bill in the institution. When I joined the institution in 2017, I raised these two issues, that these two are not sustainable. These decisions need to be reversed, and we've been engaging with the labor on these issues since 2017, 2018. Our labor does not want to listen. They want the status quo to remain. And the position of the municipality, of council, is saying, this cannot be the status quo. It cannot be left alone. This particular issue needs to be addressed. Yeah. The third reason, Oli, is the political settlement agreement that was reached by the institution during the unlawful strike in 2019. You'll remember in Amathole in August 2019, employees embarked on an unlawful strike demanding salary increments. Yeah. What we were saying is the administration, the institution is no longer able to pay these salary increments as they shoot the salary bill on more and more higher. Yeah. There was a political settlement agreement reached where we were then instructed to pay the salary increment and also to pay the back pay of the employees that were on an unlawful industrial action. And we were also instructed, therefore, to reinstate employees that were dismissed by the municipality. Yeah. And those dismissed employees were to pay them, and were to pay them retrospectively. Yeah. All these three decisions, Tony, they are the reason why we find ourselves in this situation today. When I joined the municipality in June 2017, we were already not in a position to pay for salaries for 2 months. We were always struggling with June and November, but we would go to the bank and borrow money from the bank and pay for those 2 months. Now, the political settlement agreement that we reached in 2019 has extended now, has stretched those 2 months to 4 to 5 months. Now, as an institution, because of that decision in 2019, is forcing us now not to be in a position to pay for salaries for 4 months in a financial year. And that's what we've been saying since 2017, Cody. And the situation we find ourselves in today has not started today. It is of those decisions that we took.
Right.
And Labour and everyone who was part of that political settlement agreement of 2019 must take full responsibility of the situation we find ourselves in today.
Dr. Mnyimba, if workers of the municipality are not being paid, it goes without saying that services are not going to be rendered to residents. What do you foresee that situation being, if not already underway?
It's a fact that both mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, this will affect the employees, and therefore it will affect their performance as they perform their duties.
Yeah.
My plea with employees of Amathole District Municipality is that we're all in this together, and we know the root causes of why we are here today.
Yeah.
Therefore, my plea is that let us focus on the service that we have promised our people. Let's be of service for our people, whilst we're finding solutions to these particular to these challenges that we're facing today. The executive mayor, myself, we are doing our level best to ensure that we find a sustainable solution to the challenges we find ourselves today.
Yeah.
And I promise, Xoli, that our residents of Amathole, that we will do our level best to ensure that the situation that we find ourselves in as an institution does not affect them negatively. We will do everything as the administration and as council to ensure that the services are rendered.
Dr. Mnyimba, you've mentioned that you joined that municipality in 2017. Let me take you to last year when the late Auditor General, Kimi Makwetu, came out in as far as the municipal audit report, suggesting that the monies that had gone to waste in municipalities, yours was listed in this report. And I've got to put out this figure because it appears that your municipality, which is Amathole, would have spent on salaries and consultants an amount of 96 million rand. Over 96 million rand. And it's suggested here that you were the biggest spender. What did you do to ameliorate this?
If you look at the root causes of the challenges we face as a municipality, the municipality decided to procure a system called SEP, and that was around 2014, 2015 financial year. And SEP is one of the most expensive systems that the institution, that a local government can utilize. And that's where the bulk of that money went, Xoli. It was a decision that was taken then, and we've inherited that system. And to tell you, Xoli, we spent that money on that SEP. Initially, it was supposed to be 75 million rands, only on SEP, 75 million. And we ended up spending about 110 million rands on that one system.
What was this?
And that was done around about 2014, 2015. And what we have done now, and we bought a system that was broken, that was not working. And hence our audit regressed, because here is a system that is supposed to produce reports, and this system is not producing reports. Our responsibility when we came in, was to stabilize that system. And we work with the provincial treasury and national treasury to stabilize that system. And we've done exceptionally well at doing that. Now, if I can give an example, that system could not even produce accounts. We could not bill for 10 months. Now I can tell you, we have stabilized that system, and now we're billing. And National Treasury, both provincial and National Treasury, had at the center of supporting us in doing that work. there is a new service provider, because the problem there was the service provider that was appointed. You know by now, that service provider, if you don't know, it was EOH that was appointed at the time. We then appointed a new service provider, to maintain that system and also to implement that system. In that process of implementing that system, we're then saying the transfer of skill. How do we ensure that we transfer the skill to our own employees so that going forward, our own employees can be in a position to implement this system?
Yeah.
During the period of EOH, the service provider was solely implementing the system. The entire staff component had a negative attitude towards EOH. Therefore, the employees, the staff, they were disowning the decision of appointing EOH. So that was the challenge at the time. So the consultants, that money we're talking about, went to the implementation of SAP system.
Mr. Mnyimba, I want to close this conversation, and it would seem to me you were part of all these decisions that you've mentioned. I hear you when you also apportion the blame towards Labour about the salary bill. However, the buck stops with you. You are the municipal manager. You are supposed to stay on top of the situation to make sure that you make ends meet at the end of the day. A person listening to you today will ask the question, why should Dr. Mnyimba not be fired for allowing for this situation to get to where it has gotten? Why should you keep your job?
Now, thank you very much, Tloli. Tloli, when you get appointed, you are given a mandate. And I've done everything that is supposed to be done by an accounting officer. Tloli, as I indicated to you, I joined the municipality in 2017. All these decisions we're talking about were taken in 2014, 2015 financial year. My responsibility, Tloli, is to turn around the institution. Now, in 2018, Council approved a municipal turnaround strategy with a clear financial recovery plan. Ours is to implement the financial recovery plan with the support of provincial and national government. And we've done that, Tloli. We've developed the municipal turnaround strategy. We've developed the financial recovery plan. Treasury and COCTA knows about it. And we've been engaging with provincial and national government to come and support the municipality in turning the institution around. We've inherited a debt, for example, with Amathole Water Board, a debt of about 140 million rands. 140 million. Because Amathole Water Board were not paid for an entire year during the 16-17 financial year. Now, here you go, you inherit a budget. When I started, you inherit a budget of 230 million, a budget deficit.
I have to interrupt
the municipality
you,
had a budget deficit of 230 million.
Dr. Mnyimba, Dr. Mnyimba, I have to interrupt you. You've gone through the history, and I'm simply asking you a question, simple question. Why should you keep your job? For someone listening to you, as an accounting officer, you've said, the buck stops with you. Why should you keep your job? The municipality now is in a position where it cannot pay jobs, or rather it cannot pay salaries, and therefore services are not going to be rendered to communities. Again, I ask, why should you keep your job? Very briefly.
We have a job to do, Tloli. We have a municipal turnaround strategy to implement. And together with the team, we're implementing that. And secondly, Tloli, we have developed a futuristic approach, Vision 2058. We have Vision 2058 that we have to implement.
That's Dr. Thandekile Mnyimba. He is the municipal manager for the Amathole District Municipality in the Eastern Cape. It can't pay salaries for the next 4 months.